All right, number 6, construct a truth table for the given statement. All right, so we're going to start with the negation of Q. And so to get this column here, you just have to look over at Q. And since Q goes true, false, just negate it and make it false, true, false, true. And now we're going to come over and we are going to do the if P, then negate Q. Now if it will help, P was true, true, false, false. And we just calculated the negate of Q. It was false. Whoops, that's a little bit big. It was false, true, false, true. So in order to get this column here, you have to do if P, then negation of Q. And remember, on an if then, the only time it's false is when you came to work on Saturday, which would be a true statement, but your boss didn't pay you, which would be a false. And that's the very first one. If true, then false, that's a false. But if true, then true is true. If false, then false is true. If false, then true is true. And that's number 6. All right. Now, on number 8, my math lab makes you do this row by row, but it is so much easier to do truth tables column by column. So I am going to go and finish this. They have already given me the T here, so I need 1, 2, 3 more T's. That's 4 T's. And then there'll be 4 F's. Remember that pattern? And then under Q, they've given you a T, so it's T, T, F, F. T, T, F, F. And then they gave you an R. The first R is true, and then R just alternates. True, false, true, false, true, false, true, false. Okay? And now, they have not made a full truth table, so if I were writing this all out, I would definitely write P or Q with a column of P and a column of Q. But you may not need to do that, so I'll try to do this one without that. Okay, so let's go with screen this time. We're going to do P or Q. So here's P and here is Q, and I'm doing an or in between them. And then remember, on an or, as long as one of them is true, it'll be true. So I'm looking at true or true, that's true. True or true, that's true. True or false, that's true. True or false, that's true. False or true, that's true. False or true, that's true. False or false is false, and false or false is false. Okay, and now this one says P and the negation of R. Okay, I don't have a column that has negation of R, so I'm going to put that here. And to get that in red, I have to look at this. R is true, false, alternating. So the negation of R would start with false, true, and then alternate all the way down. False, true, false, true, false, true, false, true. And then P, I'm just going to write P down here. It's true, 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 false, 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 false. And what I'm doing is this and in between. So to get that, I have to look at P and negation of R and do an and in between them. And remember, on an and, they both have to be true in order for it to be true. And this is a true and a false, so the first one is a false. True and true is true. True and false is false. True and true is true. False and false is false. False and true is false. False and false is false. False and true is false. The only time you have a true for an and is when they're both true, and there was two of them. And now for the last thing here, I'll go with orange. You're going to do an if-then, and the if-then comes between the green column and the resulting blue column here. Okay, so I have to go from, this is going to be my if, and this, oops, I meant to do that in the orange color, my bad. You're going to do if green, then blue. If green, then blue. And remember, the only time you get a false is when it's if you have an if true, then false, it's going to be a false. And the very first one here is if true, then false. So that should be a false. The next one, if true, then true, that's a true. If true, then false, that's a false. True, then true, that's true. If true, then false is a false. If true, then false is a false. If false, then false is a true. And if false, then false is a true. So I would do all that on my paper, and then my math lab will make you do it row by row. So you're going to get 8 positive affirmations on this. You know, good job, well done, excellent, whatever. And you'll do the first 3 drop down boxes in that row, positive affirmation, and then the next row will show up and you'll have to do those. So enjoy that problem. It's loads of fun, but do it on a piece of paper first. Much, much easier, in my professional opinion, for what that's worth.